Hello, everybody, and I hope that today you find. Hello, everybody. Welcome to my second video here, and today's topic is Golden Age of Time: Preparing for the Shift to a New Earth and Lemurian Wisdom. So, before I get started, I'm just going to do a brief introduction over the topic of what we're going to discuss today. So today's discussion will be about the concept of the Golden Age of Time, our transition into a new one, and how I've been shown to prepare this shift by the inner earth and Lemurian beings. So let's just dive right into it. I have some notes here, and so I'll be kind of looking down at my notes just to remind me of what I want to talk about. So, defining a golden age of time. What is a golden age of time? From what I understand, it's a time where peace, harmony, and stability, prosperity, and freedom for all on earth. And in a historical context of golden ages of time, past golden ages have followed periods of global unrest, and we are now entering in a new one. And so that kind of brings us down to lessons from Lemuria and what I learned during all of my time during the lockdown experience for over the past 3 or 4 years. I have been connecting with the Lemurian beings from the inner earth, and this connection showed me how they were living. They were living stress-free and without illness or going through the death and dying process, and how they still live in the inner earth cities of light today. And I really feel that the reason I was taken to these inner earth realms to learn about the time that I spent in Lemuria was really to help me as we move into this new golden age of time to learn their processes. And because I started learning healing processes and cellular repair and regeneration and all kinds of ways to balance your mind, body, and light body. And this is what I believe was the catalyst to me even like writing the book and really starting to work with healing myself. And I really feel that they showed me this lifetime because the time that they lived in Lemuria was like a golden age of time. And we're moving into a new golden age of time. And they wanted to show me, I believe that they wanted to show me an example of the way that we can move into the next new golden age of time, living side by side with nature, and have our main focus be around peace, harmony, stability, and prosperity, and freedom for all on the earth. They lived a more multidimensional way of living. They sustained themselves from light, and when they did eat, they ate food from the earth. They focused on community, making sure everyone had their basic needs met and still stayed self-reliant. And because the way they lived, there was no illness or the need to undergo the death and dying process. They taught me ways to prepare myself for the coming golden age, which was based on ways to balancing the mind, the body, and the light body to help humanity in this now moment as we approach the next new golden age of time, which is really the focus of my book. It's all about preparing yourself to move into a higher frequency. And it was the Lemurians who stressed to me the importance of preparation, because in order to hold the frequency of the new earth, when it shifts, our human physical body would have trouble if it happened all at once. So they were kind of showing me how to how to do this, how to like upgrade my circuit systems or my cellular structure, how to upgrade my light body. And they showed me that we cannot handle one cannot handle the shift energies if there was like some kind of a solar flash event and it came upon us all of a sudden. People wouldn't be able to withstand that amount of light coming in. And so instead, what's happening is the earth has natural things happening. So we have been slowly activated through the moon and solar events throughout our whole lifetime. But now we are going through a 11-year solar cycle where the solar storms are kind of ramping up. And each time this happens, we activate the dormant DNA, which will be needed to sustain our future human bodies as we become members of a galactic community during the new golden age of time. That's what we're moving towards. We're moving towards having our light bodies come online and working in like a higher vibrational frequency, almost like tuning the radio station. Our bodies are like tuning the radio station to a different frequency, and we will be holding a different frequency, which means that we will be actively working through our trauma and releasing core wounds. We learn to take in more light to our cellular structures, and we begin to process and the process of balancing the mind, body, and light body. We're getting prepared. All of this is preparing us for the transition or shift in our consciousness. And this transition will take time. It will not happen overnight. Because we couldn't handle to be activated all at once. And the old world must dismantle before rebuilding the new one. And I believe that these solar storms, these solar activity, these geostorms, and all these like intensified light experiences that have been going on since I noticed like in 2024, in May of 2024, we had the northern lights come in and it was seen all over the world. And I really feel like the northern lights and all of this solar activity that's ramping up is really going to help. It's playing a role in activating our light bodies and our multidimensional living. And it's basically bringing us through an evolution from the 23 chromosomes to the 24 chromosomes, and it's going to be helping to activate our dormant DNA. And so every time one of these the solar activity happens, a lot of people will talk about how when the solar storms come on, they have ascension symptoms, and they might feel like they're having like a head cold coming on, or they might have pain in their body. It could happen in all different ways. Everybody is affected differently by these little upgrades, and they're little upgrades that keep happening from the time that and it happens slowly. And this is going to keep happening. It's going to keep ramping up until we get to a point where we can hold the frequency in our systems to start creating and existing and living in this kind of new earth scenario in the next new golden age of time. So I just want to look at my piece of paper here, and so that I can make sure that I keep up on what it is exactly that I'm trying to think, so I don't keep repeating myself over and over. I wanted to talk about people that are already preparing to move off grid and becoming self-sufficient and living more self-sustainable ways. I noticed that there is a movement in this where people are starting to, it first started out where a lot of people are starting to do the van life. where they're kitting out vans and they're living in these vans and going across, traveling across and kind of the country or wherever they're, like some people are doing it in Europe and some people are doing it in the United States. And a lot of the reasons why they're doing it is because they want to get off from the systems of having to, because it's becoming so expensive to live in the societies the way that there have been created at the moment, because it's hard to, there's a lot of people that are working like 3 jobs just trying to like make ends meet, and they're still not able to even enjoy themselves, and like even during the time that they have off, because they're just so tired. And so a lot of people have just taken that element out and they have downsized, and a lot of people started doing this van life. And then there's other people that are starting to kind of, they're looking to buy derelict properties and places that in the countryside. There's a lot of people I noticed, because I do follow a few people on YouTube. There's people a lot, like here in Ireland, there's a lot of people that are coming from England and different countries, and they're buying up these derelict properties where they can create little homesteads or small holdings. They're doing it in England as well, and I know they're doing it in France. In fact, I started watching a series called We Bought a Village. It's on the More For channel, which is over here in it's over in the UK. I can get it in Ireland. And this they did like a series where people were buying up properties that were kind of like little old villages in the middle of nowhere, and some were like in France and Italy, and I'm not sure if there was any in England, but there was different people that were buying up because they could get them very cheap. Some of them are in Spain, and they could get them very cheap, and then they ended up like they're just like renovating them, and a lot of people are turning them into kind of like wedding venues and stuff, so that uh, they can make a living off from it. But then there's other people that are turning them into kind of like little communities where the people in that little area will grow their own food and become like self-sustained and self-sufficient. And I was enjoying watching them, like the different people, and like why they bought these different properties, this little villages. And then there's some people that I follow here on YouTube. There's a couple. There's these 2 ladies that they came from Wales, I think, and they bought this property here in Ireland, and they've been kind of fixing it up, and they're living in their van at the moment while they're fixing up this property. So there's a lot of that happening. There's a few more people that are doing that as well that I've been watching. So I'm seeing that kind of ramp up. So I feel like maybe when we're moving into this new golden age of time, that there will be more and more people that will be moving more, living off grid scenarios, becoming more self-sufficient. And then there are some other people that are preparing themselves to take care of their bodies and finding the recipe that helps them stay in balance and raising their vibration. I have been doing that for the last year and a half or so, because I had been being taught by the guides, and they were saying, create yourself like your own little bubble. And so I started creating around me, around my home, what I call my 7th dimensional bubble. And I just started living from the heart, and not accepting negative things to kind of come into my little bubble. And I've also kind of moved off from using uh, devices and internets and stuff. I've kind of really kind of gone off, and I started doing things that I just love. And one of the things I really love to do is counter cross stitch. And so I've been working on a counter cross stitch tapestry. I will actually get that out now, and I'm gonna show that to you. Okay, so this is my tapestry that I've been creating. It's out of counter cross stitch, and it's a depiction of a fairy riding a unicorn. I'm working on the last bit over in the corner where it's the head of the unicorn, but you can see that she's riding on a unicorn, and I've really love doing this, and taking time away from the world. And a lot of times I'll put an audio book on, and I'll just kind of delve into my own little world. And so that's kind of what I've been working on, trying to, and of course I've spent a lot of time this year getting my book written and finalized and everything kind of put together. And I just doing things that I love, and going for a swim, and I love time in the sauna and taking care of myself. And I've also gone into like a healthier eating, and I've just basically been finding that recipe, the recipe that helps me stay in balance. And recently I even started doing qigong, so that has been really helpful to help kind of move the energy, any kind of blockages of energy that has been stored in my body. And I found that ever since I've been doing the qigong, it's only been about a month and a half, maybe 2 months since I've been doing qigong, and the guides have been kind of trying to kind of get me to do the qigong for years. Every time I had a hypnosis session, starting like in 2018 when I started having those, they would say to do Pilates and some sort of Tai Chi kind of energy movement type thing. And I kind of fought it for a long time. I used to do ballet up until I was like 18 years old. And so I really loved dancing and the movement of the way I just used to kind of lose myself into the flow of the dance. And so I wanted to kind of bring that back into my life. So I've been trying to find ways to do that. And then I've also done a lot of releasing of trauma and clearing ancestral lines, everything that I'm doing. And that's what a lot of people are doing. This is preparing for the shift, preparing for the next new golden age. You can see that there's a lot of people that are starting to release trauma and clearing ancestral lines in order to have a clean slate when the shift happens. And some are just simply living from the heart, and like me, living in my little 7th dimensional bubble. Now, it's not always easy to live in one of those 7th dimensional bubbles because you're living with other people, and not everybody is interested in living in a high vibrational bubble. And so, of course, I do as much as I can to try to keep where I am, my little bubble, I try to keep it that way. And so I just would like to go into now talking a little bit about what will the shift be like? What will this shift into the next new golden age of time? Because there's a lot of varied experiences that I have heard from other people. And what I just like to say is that each individual's experience of the shift will be unique. And some will stay behind or transition differently. Others will be involved in off-grid communities. Like some people might not go into this global shift. They might decide that they want to kind of like stay living in their 3-dimensional world, and they're happy out to do that. But there's a lot of people that came here in this lifetime to actually make this shift into a higher frequency so that we can live more a different way of life. And there'll be, you'll have the people that will be moving off grid, living in a self-sustained way where they're no longer needing the assistance of governments, bodies to take care of their needs. So a lot of people will not have to worry about all of the things that we worry about at the moment, because they'll be so self-sufficient that they don't need to be dependent on any outside source. And there's a possibility that those who don't align with the new frequency may not even perceive the shift. They just will be keep going on as life as normal. And some people will have one foot into the old frequency, and we're kind of like straddling it at the moment, one in one frequency, one in the other. But as more and more people kind of make this shift into the next new golden age in a more positive, high vibrational way, they'll be moving into these new earth communities. And it'll just be kind of like they're living normal lives alongside everybody else. But it's just the people that are in the lower frequency just won't have, there just won't be anything, there won't be any reason to even have them. It's almost like when someone isn't of the same vibration, and they just tend to like not even see each other. And you'll go along with your life, and like maybe a year will go by, and then you'll think to yourself all of a sudden, I wonder what happened to such and such a person. I haven't heard from them in a while. And it's because they're doing their thing and you're doing your thing. And you don't meet in the middle anymore because your frequencies are different. So that's what kind of like what I feel like it'll be like. But there is a possibility that there will be a flash event which will move everyone into this final new earth vibration all at once. Because I'm hearing a lot of this in private sessions, and I'm hearing a lot of this like when I'm listening to people that are have had private sessions, and they share their stories in their private sessions. And with this, I really feel like there could possibly be some kind of flash event or something. And I really think that the northern lights, these aurora borealises that are getting stronger, I really think that they have something to do with a possible big huge shift. And I really would like to talk a little bit about a session that Alison Coe did. She's a hypnosis therapist or practitioner. I don't know. She has a certain type of modality. I'm not sure exactly which it is, but she has a YouTube channel where every now and then she'll share a session. And when she shares the session, she kind of like, she doesn't have the person that's in the session sitting there and you like hear the person saying it. She does a transcript, and then she reads out her part, and then reads out the client's part, and for their own privacy. So she doesn't like doing where she puts them right in front of you or whatever. And she did a session right after these aurora borealises happened in last May 24th. In 2024, there was when this happened where everybody was seeing them across the world. And she had a client that came a little bit after that, and the client was taken into the future, where she ends up seeing a lifetime where the client is living in the inner earth. So she has like a body that is like an inner earth being. And her job in this time, that she was seeing, was she was kind of like a person that would take the mail and take it from the inner earth and take it to places on the outer earth. And the reasoning for that was there was energetic it was like she was taking these packages that had like memories of the inner earth, so that they could teach the people on the outer earth and help them reclimatize and acclimate to this like golden age of living, this new type of it's like more of a higher frequency living, and to kind of help the people that were in this outer earth, where she ended up flying on a dragon, which was kind of very interesting. And she explains how when she goes into the outer, from the inner earth to the outer earth, there's like a mist that's kind of like over the earth, and it's different. Everything's like a different energy. And when she gets closer, she ends up in Venice, and everything is like, the buildings and everything are still there the way that Venice is, but it feels like it's medieval because there's no like, it's kind of, no, I guess it's like, maybe there is electricity there, but it's like, it seems like, she says it feels like it's back in time, yet it's in the future. And she goes to this one hotel, and in the hotel she has to hand her package over. And while she's in the session, she asks the person that was at the desk in the hotel if they were here during the time when everything changed, because it was very different from what we understand life here in this time that we're here. And he said that he didn't experience that happened before he was born, but that he knew of some people that did experience it, and they're like the elderly elders, that he called them elder men or whatever. And so he directed her over to some kind of like cafe, and she sat down at a table and she got to talk to these two men. Now, she told them that she was in a session, a hypnosis session, and she was just trying to kind of figure out what happened so like, why is this, because it was so different, because there was no tourists around or anything like that. It was just the people that lived there, and it was a different atmosphere, different way. And she asked them like, what was their experience like when it happened, and they explained that they were children when it happened. And during it, like, what happened was there was the northern lights started coming in, and he said at first the northern lights started coming in, and they were everybody could see them, just like what we saw in May 10th of 2024, where around the world people were getting sightings of it. And he said that it started to it took a little bit of time, because he was a child, so he couldn't remember, like he couldn't get a read on like how long it took. But he said that it seemed to like get stronger and stronger. So these like northern light things started to happen all over the world in different places. And it kind of started to getting stronger and stronger, to the point where the northern lights didn't shut off. Like, they were just like enveloping like the whole of the earth. And during that time, a lot of people were scared to even like go outside, because they didn't know what was going on. There was like something, they didn't understand it. And he said then all of a sudden there was just this one day when it got very, very strong. And then poof, everything kind of changed. It just like in a moment. I don't know if there was like a flash all of a sudden, or if it was just all of a sudden. He said everything changed. And he said a lot of people were gone then. Like he said like a lot of people just weren't there anymore. And then she asked like, when did this happen? And the only way that they could figure it out was that he was saying that he was born in 2016. And so if you bring him up 9 years, it would have been like around 2024, which is when he said that which when he said that the Northern Light events started happening. And if you notice, it started happening already in 2024. So we're kind of like in this solar cycle thing. And I don't know how long it'll take, but all I know is that if you start noticing that these things, this Northern Lights, these aurora borealis, these solar storms start getting more and more intense, and they start getting where it's kind of like not turning off anymore, then you know that it's getting close. It's getting really close to this kind of shift moment. And if you'd like to hear this session, I will put the link in the description of this video. And I might even put like a little card up right now, like on here, so you can just click over. If you click over to this card, it was kind of like up on the top of the screen here. If you click onto it and you listen to it, you can come back to listen to the rest of this if you want to, or you can wait and go listen to that later, because it's a really interesting session, and it really kind of opened my eyes, especially because it did happen. These Northern Lights did happen, and it was very strange phenomena kind of thing, and they seem to, since the first time it happened, now it seems to be happening in different places very strongly. And I would like to put up some images of something that happened even last week. So that would have been on February 28th of 2025. This event happened up over Somerset near Glastonbury. And there's some images that some people have taken of the event where it's just the whole sky just got like golden. And I'm going to put these images up over this part of the video so you can see this, what I'm explaining. And there was a woman that said that these images are not photoshopped or anything, that this was really what they experienced. And she said that it was in the sunset, and she was just sitting in her house, and it was permeating. It was like this golden light. This golden light was very strong, and it came even into her house, and she was on her office on her computer, and it came very strongly in. And she said that there was some kind of like a pop or something, and then all of a sudden just everything felt different. And so that was just only like a couple weeks ago. And so what I'm trying to like say is like, take notice of these different light events. There was somebody else that was posted something where there was like, it looked like a rainbow thing like in the sky. It just kind of was like a whew of like it was a weird light phenomenon thing. And so just take note and just know that this isn't a bad thing, that these are here to help prepare us, to help our light bodies be able to become more activated and bring us more online. So maybe instead of getting worried about the ascension symptoms that will happen when this happens, maybe put some gratitude and say, thank you for activating me just a little bit more today so that I can raise my vibration that just a little bit more. And so that is what I believe will happen when people talk about like a flash event. I really don't think it's going to happen all in one moment. I think it's going to be something having to do with these solar storms. So just keep an eye on it. And I could be wrong, but I just get this real strong feeling that this has something to do with shifting us into the next new golden age of time. And if you look at if you saw those pictures there from Glastonbury, it was so golden, and the sky was, the energy was so different. So I just want to move on, and I want to talk about my own personal journey and what I've learned to be my role going forward into the next new golden age of time. And as you know, I've already talked about that. I have been preparing for the shift, and I've been trying to find my recipe through doing cellular repair and regeneration, releasing trauma, clearing my lineage, learning how to eat plant-based food from the earth, not processed. I have not mastered the total going off from meat. I still eat chicken and fish, but my body can't tolerate red meat or anything like that anymore. It just won't let me. And I've been exercising and movement to clear blockages. I'm both focusing on changing my fat into lean muscle by doing weight training and then swimming, meditation, keeping my inner connection to my guides by regularly journaling, taking time out to just be, doing the qigong, getting enough rest in my body. And if I'm tired, I no longer fight it. I just, like, sometimes when these activations, when these solar flares come on and all these like events are happening, sometimes I feel really tired. And so I just let myself get some extra rest when that's happening and stay very hydrated. I'm working on staying very, very hydrated. And the list kind of goes on about like how I'm preparing myself to do the changeover. And I've noticed that a lot of people have been saying to me, when they have people that haven't seen me in a while, have been saying like, "What are you doing? You look so good, and you look young. Like, you look so young. How come you're not aging?" And I am, things like that. So I feel like I am kind of getting to a point where I'm starting to kind of balance all of my mind, body, and my light body. I'm not perfect. I still have times where I go off track, but it's getting better and better as I get older. And so I've had a lot of experience during some of my own personal hypnosis sessions where I've learned what my role will be going forward. And so I really wanted to kind of talk about this one session that I had in 2021 when I was told about my role in the transitioning of the new earth living. So what happened was I was taken through hypnosis. I was taken to a time and told, and when the hypnotherapist asked me what year is this, the year was 2125, and I was still in the body of me as Robin, the one that I am right now. And they were telling me, even though I was 153 years old, I looked like I was 55 due to me working on the cellular repair and mastering the cellular repair and regeneration process, and which I have been working. There's a whole program in my book that has the whole cellular repair and regeneration in there. And I've been working on that. And in this session, I was 49 years old. I am now going to be 53 in another couple of months. And in this session, it told me that I'm going to be mastering this and keeping my body at the age of 55. I'll be looking like I'm 55, and I won't age any more than I am now, which kind of does make sense because I haven't been incorporating all of this recipe that I've been doing. And in this session, I was in some sort of a ship with a glass bottom. Now, I don't know if it was in the water. It didn't feel like it was in the water. It felt like it was in the sky, but it didn't feel like a spaceship. And it didn't feel like an airplane. I don't know what it was, other than the fact that maybe we just don't have these at the moment, and it might be something. It could be like some kind of galactic type of ship with like different types of technology in it or something. But what I understood, what I was in a ship that was kind of like the Noah's Ark ship. And so it was holding all of it held like a lot of the stuff needed for the new earth seeds and like for growing different types of foods. It had high vibrational foods. It had lots of different crystals. It had all of the things that were needed to kind of for the new earth. And then they were showing me that there was also kind of people that weren't ready for this whole like living on this vibrational frequency, that still had a little bit of work to do, that they were staying on these ships, like almost like little hospital ships or something. It was maybe like a hospital ship where there would be people that were there. There was galactic beings and there was human beings that were showing people, and they were helping them activate their light bodies so that they could sustain themselves. Because if it was just too much, they couldn't hold that much light, their body wasn't able for it. So what I was showing is that there was different people that were still there on this ship. So it was kind of that they were working on getting themselves back over to the earth. And in this scene that I was shown in this vision during my hypnosis session, I saw that there was myself. There was like this glass kind of bottom area. It was kind of looking down onto the earth. And we were kind of discussing where I think we were going to be taking people to a community that was down on the earth. And we were just kind of overseeing it and discussing it. And there was myself and there was a man there that kind of looked like a Merlin type character. And there was a couple beings that were in there that weren't human. I think they were more like Arcturian or something like that. Oh, there was human beings there that were kind of like people that I knew. They were some of my friends that I know now. There was a couple of them that I know now here in this lifetime right now. And they were there helping me, and they played part of the role. And so then I didn't really understand everything that was going on. And in that session, then there was more explanations about, the whole session was really talking about how I mastered my cellular repair and regeneration, and how if I choose to move into this possible scenario, this timeline, that I would have to do the work that I need, that I would have to do this work of getting myself prepared so that I didn't have to go through the death and dying process in order to move into this next new golden age, that I could stay kind of intact. And I didn't really understand totally like what was going on. And then so I just kind of took that session, and I just kind of didn't really do anything with it other than started working on preparing myself and thinking, well, this could be a possibility. It might happen, it might not, I don't know. And then I had a session where I was the hypnotherapist and I had a client, and this was back in last year, so it would have been 2024. I had a client where she was taken to this type of a ship that I was on, and they called it a hospital ship, and she was being shown her role as she moves into the shift, what her role will be. And she was not going to be a person that was going to live on the earth. She was going to stay into the ships and assist. She had a contract that she would do this, like when the time would come where she would be helping to prepare the people that were on the ship, that weren't ready to, their bodies weren't able to hold that vibration yet, that she would be working on helping them and teaching them how to prepare their cellular structure to be able to handle the frequency, to be able to come back down to the earth. And during that time, while we were in that session, I quickly realized that I had a flashback of the session that I had in 2021, and I said, okay, I'm curious. So I asked her if it was okay if I talked to the guide that was there. So there was a being that was on the ship with her, and I asked if he could give me some clarification as to this session that I had where I was in 21, 25, and what was that all about, where I was 153 years old, but yet I only looked like I was 55. And I wanted to know a little bit more about that and what my role was going to be going forward in this shift time or whatever. And they explained to me that what I was seeing was myself up on the ship. And then they told me that because my role is going to be different when we go into the shift, I'm actually not going to be living on these ships. They were showing me my role on that when this shift event happens, when we move into the next new golden age of time, where there's a possible light event, a flash event, or the northern lights get very strong, I'm able to kind of withstand it. Now, it's still going to be tough on my body, but I'll be able to withstand it because of all the preparation that I've been doing. And what they were showing me was that there were other people that would be doing that as well. And so we would just be kind of staying on the earth while these other people would be going onto these ships to recalibrate and get themselves kind of ready to kind of come back down. And they would all have it would take each person a different amount of time to get themselves ready, depending upon the work that they needed to do. And so I wouldn't be assisting with any of that. They showed me I wouldn't be assisting with like what my client was assisting with teaching them how to do this. At that point, I would be on to the next phase where we would be building out the new communities and the places where I would be living, staying right on the earth. And we would have to sort out a lot of stuff at the beginning of when it happens, because infrastructure, like electrical wires, something about the electricity where we won't be working, the grids will be down, and we will have to learn how to because like if the power went out right now here in my house, for one, we heat with a wood fire stove, and the wood fire stove has like a back boiler on it, which then it holds the water and it connects to the heating system throughout the house. So it goes to all the radiators and everything. And then it goes into this hot tank to make the water warm. And there's a little pump that does this. And so what they were kind of showing me is like if the electricity goes out, it's going to be the same way what happens whenever the power goes out when we have a storm or whatever. We won't be able to run our heating system, and definitely won't be able to have showers, but we won't be able to run the heating system because the pump won't be working, which will make like all the pipes and everything explode out the back of the fireplace if we did have a fire in that for heating or whatever. And so every house is going to have a different problem. But like when we just had the storm Eowyn here in Ireland, there were some people that didn't have power for like 14, 15, 16, 17 days. And they were living in the countryside, and they had no water because the water couldn't get pumped from the stations because they didn't have enough generators to pump the water through the system. So of course you don't have electricity. You can't take a shower. We have electric showers over here. Instead of, most people have electric shower in their house instead of the way that they have it in the States. And so it's just different. And so you come across problems, and then anybody that they were having, like, you had to boil water in order to drink it because it was being contaminated because of the storm, and backed up into the pipes and all of that stuff that was happening. You have problems where you can't even flush your toilet, different things like that. And then can you imagine if this was a global thing that happened, like all of a sudden, and there was no electricity, there would be no amenities. Like you wouldn't be able to, like, obviously if you went to the grocery stores, they would have all the frozen food in there, but that's not going to last very long because it's going to go bad. And so basically what they were showing me was that when this first happens, there will be like the ground crew that comes in, and we'd basically have to build the infrastructure in our little communities for the people that are still here. And so I will be involved in that. And also I'm learning that I'll be probably doing something with the growing of the food. And we'll be kind of like on that next phase. Right now I'm in the phase of preparing for it and getting my bodies to stay intact so that I will be able to handle any kind of flash event. And then we'll be on to the next phase. So I'll be into the builder phase of the new earth, the new communities, the new whatever we end up creating. And then as people are ready, they were showing me that I will come up to the ship and I will be bringing people down as kind of part of the welcoming committee to kind of get them settled into their new way of living and their, like, what they're doing in these new communities that we have set up for them. And so that is basically what I was shown is going to be my role. I'm going to be living off grid and teaching other people how to grow food and helping them acclimate to the new way of living. And so that's basically will be the next phase going through. And so then I've also been working with clients right now in the to help people get prepared. And I've been doing a lot with my clients to help them release trauma. That's what a lot of hypnotherapy sessions will do. So it's a really good way to help release trauma, anything that's blocking, to kind of like move forward. So if anybody is looking where they can't seem to be fixing their they're trying to work through their trauma, but they're not able to, I assist right now in that. I'm assisting in helping people getting themselves prepared, and I'll be doing that through the book. I'll be from the book, and then also this YouTube channel, and I will end up building out a private online community eventually, where we will be discussing how to prepare for this next new golden age of time. And we'll be doing all kinds of things where I'll be doing light infusion circles, and I'll be doing, for people who buy the book, we'll be doing like a book club where we'll do different times where we'll be discussing different topics in the book. And there'll be there's going to be there'll be the cellular repair and regeneration program that people can avail of. And in this little private community that I'll have, online community that I'll have, will be a place for people that are interested in preparing themselves and interested in delving into this material a little bit more, to be kind of with like-minded people that are also working towards preparing themselves to move into the next new golden age of time. So I'm looking at using an app called The Circle, and it's very much like what I see as like a social media app where you can have your own private community, and there's like Zoom type of webinar. There's everything's built in. We can do live streams to the people that are in the group. People can communicate with each other. We can have like all kinds of like workshops going on. It will be focused on kind of starting to prepare and learn how to kind of live in this high vibrational way of living. And there'll be different people that will step up, and they'll be teaching how to grow their own food and how to go back to cooking and cooking our food and getting rid of processed food. There'll be all kinds of, everybody will be having people coming on teaching people how to communicate with their inner compass. Everything that's in the book, all the topics that are in the book, we will be covering, and it'll be like a little community where we'll be helping each other out. I haven't gotten where I'm going to be able to build that out yet, but we're starting now, and I'm starting with the YouTube channel and the book. So I think that's the first place that people can get started with it. And so also with these sessions, with any kind of hypnosis sessions, I can help assist people in their role. Like, some people might be curious as to what their role is going forward into this next new golden age of time, where they can actually prepare themselves for their specific role going forward. And I've had a few clients in. I'm just going to kind of tell you a little bit about what I've been seeing with some of the clients. I'm not all of the clients, but these are some people. So I had one person come in, and we ended up going and learning about what she's going to be doing. And she's going to be a builder or creator of new worlds. That's what she came into this lifetime to be helping with that, because that's what she does. When she's not being human, she helps with creating new worlds. And so she specifically came in this time for when this kind of mass shift happens, and she's here to help build out the new communities. That was what she found out her role was. I had another person that came in, and they found out that they're going to be helping with the children that are left behind, because some of the children, their vibration is already able to handle it, where the other their parents or might not be ready for it. And so she'll be kind of taking them under her wing, and she'll be working with them. And she will also be doing she does a lot of foraging in the forest right now for plant medicine, and creating remedies and homeopathic methods for healing and stuff. And she will be teaching people how to use the plants and what we have on the earth for those types of purposes, homeopathic type of purposes. Let me have a drink. Also, when I just as a side note, when I drink, I have this water bottle ready, and I have an Indara and a Lemurian crystal inside of here to infuse my water with high vibrational frequencies. So that's another thing that you can do to help prepare yourself and to prepare your body, because our body is made up of I can't remember how, I think it's 80% water or something like that. And it's very important, because if you know the story about the Dr. Emoto and what he talks about water, where he did those things where he froze the water and used different types of like words, and that the water seems to be very effective in your emotions and stuff like that. And so if you're drinking in high vibrational water, you're cleansing yourself and getting rid of toxins, and you're bringing in that high vibration throughout all your cells. So it's very important to keep yourself hydrated, and to do something, maybe infuse your water with a crystal. And I like to use the Indara, because the Indara is multidimensional, and I love my Lemurian crystals as well. And so that's what I kind of throw into my water bottle, and it's always in the bottom of my water bottle, and I just keep filling it up and just letting it infuse. So that's just a tip. That was a little bit of a side note. Okay, so then I had another client. It was the same client that I had that I just talked to you about, that was going to be on the hospital ship, and that she's going to help people acclimate to the new frequency, to help them enter back onto the earth. And then I had another client that saw themselves during the actual big flash event, where she was helping people, calming people. She was calming, she saw herself kind of like up on a stage in like a city or something, and she was calming people and helping them, assist them to get them to go onto these hospital ships, so that they could sustain, so that they didn't have to die, basically. Go, because if you take on too much light, too much at once, and you're not ready for it, your body will just kind of like explode. It can't handle it. So she's trying to calm people during this event that's happening, to assist them to help assist them to get them onto the ships. And she didn't see anything more about her role after that. I don't know if she's staying on the ships or what, but she was shown that. Then I had another client that saw and she wasn't sure if it was in this now time, or if it was kind of more after after we shift into it. But she was seeing different people, like they would be moving around in groups, like 8 or 12 people, and they would be moving. They would kind of like living in these little off-grid communities, but she saw them moving throughout when the seasons changed to different places, just like the American Indians did, where they used to, in the wintertime, they would go more, I think in the wintertime they would go more south to the warmer weather, and then in the summertime they would go up more towards Canada. I'm not sure exactly how but they would move depending upon the weather. And so she saw that type of thing going on. It wasn't necessarily her role, but she saw that kind of thing happening. And those are just clients that I had myself that were seeing their future role. So if you would like to see your future role, and we could do a session, all you need to do is go over to my website. There's a link on the description here of the video, and you can go into the private sessions and avail of one of those. You don't have to avail of the real expensive one. There's a couple different packages. And if you just want to come to kind of do a normal regression progression session, where we can go into seeing what you possibly go in to see what your role is, you can just do one of the simple basic sessions. You don't have to do the one where I do the crystal gazing and create scripts around what you're doing. That one, you don't have to do the big huge package to get this information. And then if you watch, there's a lot of people that are hypnosis, they have their sessions upline or whatever online, but Alice & Co is a really good one. The one that I talked about, where she had the session with the Aurora Borealis thing. And I would definitely advise, if you're interested in this topic, to hear things. She has a few different times where she has some clients that are shown what happens. There's one very recently that was just put up on her thing, where they are shown. I think the title of the thing is, when the event happens, then 6 months, and then a year down the road, or something like that. And so that would be very interesting for anybody that would be interested in hearing that. And my final thoughts. Okay, so we're getting down to the end of the video, and my final thoughts, and I guess a call to action here. I encourage all of you to start preparing now, spiritually, mentally, and physically, whether it's through practices like Qigong, living more self-sustainably, or balancing your mind, body, and spirit. The golden age is unfolding, and the more prepared you are, the easier the transition will be. So if you're feeling called to explore your unique role in the shift, I invite you to book a hypnosis session with me. Through hypnosis, you can gain insight into your specific purpose and how you can best prepare for the upcoming changes. Last but not least, I have a channeled message that I have done, that I created around the topic of what we just talked about today, and it's from the beings called the elven ones, and they hold the essence of, here, I'll just put a card up so that you can see this. These are the elven ones, and I don't know if it's too bright. It's hard to see that one. This is from the Lemurian Star Child Oracle deck. And let me just tell you what they do. They hold the essence of the divine creation codes. They are starborn architects and Earth's guardians of light. And I channeled them a few days ago to go along with this video, and around the topic of the new golden age and how to prepare. And this special bonus video is free to watch. All you need to do is subscribe to my newsletter list to receive all bonus future videos, including today's video. So go down to the description of this video and you just click on the link, sign up for the newsletter, and you will be sent every time, you'll be sent an email with the bonus content. And every time I do that, after, you'll always get it in your email, the bonus channeled messages. And last but not least, I would like to say thank you for joining me today, and I look forward to guiding you on this incredible journey to a new golden age of time. I'll see you next time.
Welcome to an exclusive pre-order opportunity. You're about to embark on a transformative journey that will help bring forward a new golden age of miracles. The world is ready for change, and by pre-ordering Bringing Forward a New Golden Age of Miracles today, you're taking the first step towards a life-changing experience. Pre-ordering the physical copy of the book today means you'll be one of the very first to hold it in your hands when it's released in late May. Imagine having this groundbreaking book delivered directly to your door, giving you early access to its powerful content before anyone else. As a special bonus for pre-ordering today, I'm offering you a free PDF version of the book. This means you can start diving into the material right now, discovering the keys to finding your recipe for total balance, while eagerly awaiting the arrival of your physical copy. This isn't just a book, it's a movement that seeks to awaken the miraculous within each of us, shift paradigms, and inspire new possibilities. Your pre-order helps bring this message to life and ensures its global reach. Be part of something extraordinary. Pre-order your physical copy today and unlock your first step into the new golden age of miracles. You'll experience the message before anyone else, and you'll be helping to bring this transformative vision into reality. To pre-order Bringing Forward a New Golden Age of Miracles, click on the link located in the description of this video.